Hello there, good morning, welcome back to my channel. My name's Louise and this is Louise's Lifestyle. Thank you for joining me. So today I'm doing an update on both the Piper Nigrum, which is the peppercorn plant, and Piper Betel, which is a plant of the same family, the Piper family, but it has edible leaves. And in South Asia, widely eaten, the leaves with betel nut, which is completely different. It's not of the same family, the betel nut. So the Piper Betel, I've had that a number of years now. It's not my first plant. First plant I had for 8 years. I started, oh gosh, back in 2012. So it's known as Paan. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and bring the Piper Betel into view. So it's quite a big plant, and I'd say it's about 7 feet tall because I've had to bend the actual stems from the bottom as well. I'll just pick it up. You can see these stems are sort of bent and not straight up. If I had them straight up, this would probably be about 7 feet in height. So it's just coming out of winter dormancy. They don't really grow much during the winter period. So summer, they start to put on lots of growth. There is lots of leaf drop happening in the winter, you know, shorter day length. I don't put this under the grow light. It's, you know, stays on the windowsill, so it recognises the shorter day length, and obviously the odd sunny day that it gets, you know, it's keeping the plant alive. But ideally, you know, we'd love to have sunny days every day, but not the case. So it doesn't get extra lighting from the grow lights, just keep it on that windowsill. It's very prone to aphids. It's an indoor plant, and so every so often I have to take it off the windowsill, take it to the shower and hose it down. I don't spray insecticide on this plant. It really damages the leaves. The leaves are quite thin. So although these look healthy, these have been covered in aphids. There's still a few on there. It's just keeping it under control. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to prune it back, because there's too much empty space at the top here, and it's unlikely to put out. It can put out new shoots. If I bent that, then it would probably send up new shoots, but you know, I don't really want to do that. I'd rather stimulate it into putting out more branches further down and new shoots. And what happens is in the spring, let me just put that stick there, in the spring from the base you will get new growth happening. So suckers, if you like, will appear from the base. So I'd like that to happen, because that's brand new growth. This growth becomes quite woody after a while, so you do need to sort of prune it to get fresh, healthy new growth, because these stems will stay like this. Unlikely. I mean, there are some signs that it may put out, you know, new growth, but in my experience of growing betel leaf, once you start to get the bare stems, it's really best to start cutting. But I'm not going to cut it down to this level. I'm just going to prune from the top and encourage more growth to come through the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got my scissors ready, nothing special, just going to take this, and I might try and attempt to make a cutting, you know, get it to root. It may not work, so I'm going to take off from here, which is quite a length, but I think the plant needs it, so that's going to come off there. Let's just take the string off. So quite a length there, you see, and if I try to root it, I will take it down to about that level. So that's what I'll do now. So it's concentrating its energy just in this short length. You know, if you try to take a cutting that long, there's too much of an area for any hormones to keep traveling up and down. So yeah, I'll pop that in maybe if I've got any perlite, or straight into water and cover it with a plastic bag. So it doesn't always work, you know. I've been doing this a long time, and believe me, it doesn't always work. So I'm going to take off that as well and cut that. I'm going to cut this here and cut that about there. So I've got myself 3. As I say, they may none of them may work, but I'm going to pop them in a jar with a lid on to keep it sort of moist. Sometimes they just rot. It doesn't always work, but you know, rather than just throwing them away. And then hopefully that will stimulate new growth. Now I'm thinking whether I should take this. No, I think I'll leave that. I'll leave these 2, and so it looks aesthetically a more pleasing looking plant with less bare stems to grow. I'll get the string that I've just cut off and tie those in. Yeah, it looks better. You know, sometimes you have to be a bit brutal with the plants, you know, to get them to look, because you want them to look good as well. You don't want them to look scraggly. I can't do anything about the lower section because these are all separate. These are separate stems, and I want it to keep that multiple stem look, so I'm going to leave that one. Yeah, so maintenance wise, I've just keep it watered. When I was away on holiday for 3 weeks, I gave it a good watering. I didn't ask my son to do anything with this particular plant because it's very finicky. So when I came back, there were some dry crispy leaves. Again, that's not his fault. That was, you know, I didn't ask him to water this plant. So yeah, so there was some leaf drop that's happened, but it will make a recovery. You know, my experience tells me that this is just the winter phase. Winter, they do go dormant. I've seen places where they sell these in the United States. There was a nursery that sold them, and they would actually cut theirs back to ground level. And I'm not that brave to do that, but yeah, so that's the Piper beetle, or Paan. The leaf is what they chew in Southeast Asia. They put little condiments in the leaf, wrap it up and stick it in the mouth and chew it. It's not everybody's taste, and there are many varieties of this Piper beetle. They have different tastes. Some taste quite hot, some have a sweeter taste to them. So yeah, Piper beetle or Paan. So just pop that to one side. Just come in a bit closer. Move these cuttings to one side. Right, so when I went to Bangladesh, I brought back 2 Piper Nigrum plants. I haven't really featured them much amongst the collection of the others that you've recently seen if you've been watching my videos. So I got 2. One had peppercorns attached to it and the other one didn't, from the same place, and these are the 2. And look at that, that's the one that had the peppercorns on it, and it's just dropped all its leaves, and it did start to put out a new shoot, a sucker if you like, but then that happened. That's the sucker. It just completely rotted. I had a big leaf on it, a lovely fresh looking leaf, and then that just fell off as well. So I don't know what's in store for this. I don't know whether it'll survive or not. Yeah, it did look like it was about to push out a new peppercorn influence. I think I filmed that. But yeah, I've had quite a few Piper Nigrum plants in the past. I had one from India and it looked like this. It would put out a new leaf and then it would, the other ones that previously had grown would fall off. They were very unhealthy plants, so I don't know what's in store for that. I'm just going to keep it where I've got it at the moment in the grow tent. I'm not filming it in the grow tent. It's quite awkward stooping over. It's not a very comfortable way to film. So yeah, I'll just have to see what happens with that. So it's got green on there, but my experience tells me that when they start going like that, yeah, it's curtains basically. That's already started to go yellow, and I think that will start to travel down, but it may produce another shoot from the base. We'll just have to see. So this is the other one, both from the same nursery. Now I do have another Piper Nigrum plant from Bangladesh that I got in 2018. That had lots of peppercorns on it, but it did not produce any new ones once I had it here. You know, once I've got it in the UK. It grew plenty of leaves. I featured it loads of times, but it's never actually produced those peppercorns again. So these 2 have been in the grow tent since I bought them from Bangladesh, and I'm going to try and keep them there as long as possible, only because I know that if I take them out of the grow tent, they'll probably carry on growing once we get, you know, longer days, etc. But I'm unlikely to get any peppercorns. I think that they need the heat, they need that humidity, and obviously the light as well. So yeah, so this is where this has been living, and this one has put out new growth. It's got let me just see where it started to put out the new growth. I think it was about that. It's put out quite a bit of growth. I think this section here is all new. It's all new growth. And down here, this paler leaf, that's new. Oops, a daisy. Be careful, it's not tied into this stick. Yeah, I've not tied it in, so it's a bit floppy. Yeah, so it's in John Ennis compost, the same compost that I've used on all the other Bangladeshi tropicals, because that's the kind of soil it was in when I bought it in Bangladesh. Very sort of like soil, loam, mixture of clay, that sandy clayey mix. So I tried to emulate that so it didn't shock the plant too much. So there's no perlite in there. You know, no ericaceous, nothing, just John Ennis compost. So yeah, this one seems to be doing better. Say the nice new leaves on there, and let me show you, because I know some people have asked me this question a few times when they bought betel leaf plants off me. They've said, or they've got betel leaf plants themselves and they know that I grow it. Because they are related. The Paan and the Piper Nigrum or Gulmurich are related. They're in the same family and exhibit the same sort of things. Right, sorry, I had to pause the camera there. So the exudate is a perfectly normal process for both Piper beetle and Piper Nigrum. And I was thinking of taking a cutting off this plant, but you know, while it's still pushing out new healthy growth, I didn't really want to interrupt that, because one of the things that happens when you start taking cuttings off these Nigrums, the Piper family, they don't always necessarily start to grow a new leaf bud from that point. That point could just stop growing, and then it starts growing from a lower point, from the base even. So I'd rather that not happen. So I will take cuttings if I can keep this one alive, but not just yet. I want to see if I can get it through the summer, and hopefully maybe there'll be a sign that it will produce a peppercorn, because this one wasn't very big and it had peppercorns on it, and I imagine that these are both of similar age. It just needs to provide the right conditions for it, and I know if I take it out of the grow tent it will probably grow, but I won't get any peppercorns, you know. That's a fact, because the one that I've had since 2018, yeah, it grows, it's growing, but since I got it, it's never produced a single peppercorn. So that's it for today. Sorry about the break in the filming there, I don't know what happened, but the camera just switched itself off. Yeah, so if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. Give this video a thumbs up, and like and share with your friends. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.